Thank you for coming, everybody. Obviously, following the game last night, we were made aware of a potential situation that occurred during our game against Tampa Bay. And clearly from our standpoint here as an organization at MLSC, our ownership, in dealing with Brendan Shanahan over the last 5 years, the issue of homophobia, used in a discriminatory way or even casually, is one that, especially in my discussions with Brendan and the work that we've tried to do here in establishing our environment and culture within our organization, is one that we do not take lightly whatsoever. Our whole goal as an organization is not only within our locker room but within all of our facilities, that this is a safe, not only a safe but a very welcoming place for people of all sexualities, sexual orientations, or people who are questioning both. Obviously, when events like this come up, it forces you as an organization to evaluate where you're at. Are you doing enough? And it's something that Brendan and I have talked about at length throughout the 5 years that we've been here in conjunction with Steve to examine where we're at, what we're doing, and how we can continue to reach our objective of making not only our locker room, but all of our facilities a safe and welcoming place for all people. After I was getting ready to leave here last night, and Steve made me aware that there was a movement on social media that had alleged that Morgan Rielly had used the homophobic slur on the ice, directed at Brad Meyer, the official, returned back to Scotiabank Arena, called Morgan back, and the league at that point got involved, and we cooperated fully with the league. When it came out that it was Morgan who was alleged to have used the homophobic slur, was surprising to me, to say the least. I've known Morgan now for 5 years, and this is a cause that he supported socially throughout his time here. And a few weeks ago, independent of all of this, had gone to our community department and to Steve Keogh and asked to be formally involved in the Pride Parade in Toronto this upcoming June. So knowing that from a few weeks ago, and then combining that with the incident of last night, I was very surprised that Morgan was alleged to have said such a thing on the ice. And instead of going on the defensive last night, we went through the process with the league, which obviously, as everyone has read, involved communicating with the official who was right there beside Morgan, and reviewing all the audio, and obviously speaking to Morgan about it, who unequivocally denied it, knowing Morgan's character and how definitive he was that he did not utter a homophobic slur. I was relieved when the results of their investigation came forward today. That said, I think it provides us all an opportunity to look at what we do in these matters, how we support these matters, and what we're doing to create a safe environment in our facilities and in our locker room for everybody. And at that point, I'll turn it over to Morgan.
Yeah, last night after the game, when I got home, I was made aware that there was a video and I was alleged to have used a slur on the ice. At that point, I came back to the rink to meet with Kyle. And we talked about things, and I told him what happened, and at that point we agreed to let the process play out with the league, because they were going to take action. And I was 100% confident that I didn't use the word, so we allowed the process to play out. It was difficult at times to not make a statement because how strongly I felt about it, and the fact that it is a very important issue. But I'm very happy that it came out today, that word wasn't used by me. And I think it's an opportunity for us as a team to realize that there's really no place for slurs like that in sport and in life. And moving forward, I think it's important that we realize that. And I'm happy that the statement came out the way it did.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kyle. When you two listened to the audio, what did you actually hear? Was your F-bomb there and then something else after from the bench?
I've listened to it so many times, and I've heard every different theory, and you kind of convince yourself. You can hear hundreds of different things as you go through it, as every different theory of who said what mic did it come from. There's 10 mics that are used in a game like last night. Which mic picked it up? Where was it from? Was it the same cadence of voice? Like, it's a difficult thing to discern what was said. I think rather than getting into figuring out what was said and what wasn't said, even the thought that someone in our facility or on the ice for either team could think of saying that in our building gives us a chance as an organization to ask, are we doing enough? What can we do more to make sure that that's condemned here and not going to be welcome? So rather than get into who said what or what did we hear, I think we can say we heard a million different things, but if we focus on the issue rather than divert to what an investigation shows, I think we'll all be better off.
Do you think it came from the ice, or do you think it came from the stands? And Morgan, did you hear it?
I didn't hear it. You know, I know that I didn't use that word and I didn't hear it during play, but I did listen to the video. And, you know, there are different ways to listen to the video. And when it's a topic that's very serious, you tend to, you know, think what may have been said, but I know that I didn't say it and I didn't hear it during the play. And I'm not sure whether it came from the ice or not. Either way, that word, you know, has no place in this building. This is, you know, a team that wants to be, you know, very involved with the community and the movement. And I mean, like I said, I didn't say it.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about the investigation itself, how you determined that Morgan didn't say it apart from his testimony?
Sure. I brought Morgan in. So when I first saw the video and Steve sent it to me, I was in the parking garage getting ready to drive home, and when you see the quote, I don't know who it was on Twitter that created. That's how it all started. And when I saw what they were alleging the quote was, and I heard it, the video, it's easy to jump and say that's what it was. And then my initial response after watching for the third time was, the referee, whom is 5 feet away from Morgan and looking directly at Morgan, and Morgan looking directly at him, is the one who knows what happened. Because last week at the general managers meeting in Florida, we went through this exact topic of issues of racism, homophobia, or grotesque comments made by players to officials or to one another on the ice, and having no place in hockey and to be addressed with the team. So my initial response was that was just 4 or 5 days ago. If a player who was hot at a non-call said that to an official, the official, in my opinion, would have right away ejected the player from the game. And so the first step was, for me, sitting down with Morgan and asking Morgan directly to his face, this is the video, what did you say? And he was unequivocal in his statement that he didn't say that. That word did not leave his mouth. The next part was the NHL, of course, contacting the official, Brad Meyer, and the official stating that did not happen. I did not hear Morgan Rielly say that, and Morgan Rielly did not say that to me. So, or I did not hear it in the game, and Morgan Rielly did not say it to me. And then subsequently, the league went through their own investigation. Sportsnet and Fox Sports who were covering the game through the different audio of the game and all the different microphones used in the game, the technicalities of which I don't understand as well as I ever envisioned needing to or should have. But you know, they went through all that and did that investigation on their end.
So did the official hear it in the moment?
That's a question for him. My understanding is that the official did not hear that. No, but that's, again, I don't want to speak for Brad Meyer, for the NHL on that. That's a question for them.
This is for both of you, Lynn. You both said when it immediately came out that you wanted initially and emotionally to make a statement, but you let the process play out. How difficult is it to separate yourselves from social media, where in a lot of ways, you know, people sometimes presume you're guilty before you're declared innocent?
Yeah, I think your first reaction is that, I mean, you want to make a statement to, you know, help yourself to, you know, make it clear that what's being alleged isn't true. But after meeting with Kyle, you know, we felt that it was important to let the process play out, and be it difficult because the issue is extremely serious. I was confident that it would work out because I know what I said, and I think that was the right move to let the league, you know, go through their channels. And you know, it was a long evening, but I'm glad that it worked out.
What I would add, Mike, is that in talking to Morgan, is that I don't think the team or Morgan are victims at all. And I don't want it to be perceived that Morgan feels that way or that the team feels that Morgan was slandered. I think some people rush to judgment, and that's what happens in 2019. But there are a lot of people in our community and people that we know, and people who have family members, and where they are affected by homophobia every single day in our community and all throughout the world. And every time it's even thought that those types of words are uttered in our facility or anywhere, I think we have to do our part as the Toronto Maple Leafs to use this situation to continue to do our part to rid casual homophobia, vulgar homophobia, things that make people of any sexuality or sexual orientation feel uncomfortable and unsafe in our facilities. And I think that's, in talking to Morgan, he's of the same mind, and that's where we stand on it today.
Josh, I'll just go back to the actual use of the word, just sort of clear. Like, the league said that Morgan didn't use the word, but are they saying that it was used, or they're not sure? Because people were saying that, well, maybe it's rag the puck or whatever. Is there any? Did you get a clear indication of whether the word was used at all?
I think when you hear it and it's attached with, if I say something to you and I say this is what I'm saying and I write it out, and so immediately that's in your head, so that's what you hear. And then as any controversy or conspiracy theory evolves, different people hear different things. They have different elements that get involved. The league, I think the way that it played out was did Morgan say that it was accused that Morgan had said this on social media, that Morgan had said it to the official regarding a non-call. The official said Morgan did not say it. Morgan said he did not say it. The audio does not pick up Morgan saying it to the official. And even though I can understand why you jumped to that conclusion, and many people did, that's more of a question for the league. I think as everyone in this room probably has listened to it, you can hear a few different things as different things get developed. I think, again, rather than disputing what was said and what wasn't, I think the focus should be, if it was said, how horrible it is, and even the thought of someone saying it in our facility should be the focus. I think whether it was said or not said in this facility last night, I think even the thought that it might have been said is enough for everybody in the room to do their part and confront the matter.
Do you say something to the referee in the heat of the moment, and in the bigger picture, is there another underlying thing here that in this day and age you have to be careful whatever you say, because it's picked up by a lot of people?
Well, I think we're aware, of the microphones in the building. I think that, you do have to watch what you say, but, when it comes to slurs of any kind, there's no place for that on our team and in this rink. So, to go back to, exactly what I said, I'm not sure, but I know that I wouldn't have used a homophobic slur, and I know that I didn't. And I think that's important, and I think that, that has to be our stance. And, like Kyle said, the fact that there's even a chance that word did get used last night means that there's more that can be done from a player standpoint in regards to equality.
Take two more questions.
Kyle, you've marched in pride parades before. Why does this issue matter to you? And Morgan, it sounds like you've chosen to march in the pride parade this year. Why does this issue matter to you?
Well, I think it's important because, there's lots of people that, have very hard times and, struggle with this. And I think it's important that we support one another. And, there's been examples over time with this team taking part in that, Kyle especially. And I think, when leadership supports something, the players follow. And, it's not just with sports that this is important. Within our lives, this, happens every day. And it's important that, we're sensitive to it and we're aware of it.
It matters to me, Bruce, and Shannon and I. It's something that we talk about a lot, and Brendan, Steve, and I have talked about it at length since we've been here. And it goes back to my time in the Sioux. My thought on it has always been, in managing the team and thus responsible for the players, coaches, and also for the environment that's in our facilities, both in our dressing room but also in the stands, that it's incumbent on us and management to build an environment where if someone were gay or were questioning their sexual orientation, that they don't feel that they have to come in here and be somebody that they're not, and that we can create an environment where even if they don't come out, if they are gay, that they still feel safe within the confines of our building. And I think by us supporting that's really the hope, is that people see that we support it. We understand that it is a challenge for people to potentially come out if they are gay. But our goal as an organization, and it predates me with talking at length to Brendan since we've been here, talking to Steve and everybody, is that it's more about the environment that we're creating for everybody. That if a homosexual or bisexual or transgender fan walks in the rink, that they feel welcome here and safe here. If we have a player who's contemplating what their sexuality is, that they feel safe here and they can be themselves here. So that's why the cause matters to me, and I think that because of our role in the community and in the country as the Toronto Maple Leafs, we have a unique opportunity to be proactive and to take a stance on the matter. And all that said, I think we have to continue to do more on the matter.
I know you said the investigation itself was quite complex. There's so many cameras there. Did you narrow it down to which camera it came from, what area of the arena the audio could have come from? And is there some responsibility to find out who said this when a video like this gets shared so many times?
So the question, we did ask the question to, can you narrow down which microphone it came from? And it was, I think it has to do with the quality of the microphones. And Steve can provide the exact answer. But my understanding was that they were not able to pick up which microphone. It's the way that they track the audio in the game with where the puck is. And I'm not qualified to speak about that, unfortunately. I would defer to Steve and his question. And I do think if we can objectively say that was the term that was used, yes, we certainly would always act on it, and we don't have any appetite to just ignore it. And that's sort of the reason why we're here today, is that even the thought of it being said is really why we wanted to be here and come out and confront the matter head on.
Thanks very much.